Today we are enjoying our Mediterranean cruise on Harmony of the Seas, and it is a port day. At dawn, we sail past the black mussel farms and into the port at La Spezia, Italy. We are Rod and Melody from Always Be Vacationing. Welcome! If it's your first time, we're here to let you in on a little secret. Life is to be experienced, and Always Be Vacationing is a mindset. Whether you're working or playing, treat your life with the joy, energy, and excitement as if you are always on vacation. Our excursion, Jewels of Cinquatera, began at 9:30 a.m. We board a 2-deck cruising boat in La Spezia and settle in to visit small cliff-hugging towns along the Italian Riviera coastline.
Cinque Terre is mentioned in documents dating to the 11th century. Monterosso and Vernazza were settled first and the other villages grew later. They are located within the territory of the Republic of Genoa. Cinque Terre remained undiscovered by tourists until the 1970s when the fishermen's cottages were painted in bright colors and prosperity followed.
We purchased this excursion online direct from Royal Caribbean. At the time, the Italian government only allowed excursions to be booked through the cruise lines who had to follow strict COVID bubble requirements for their guests. Among the requirements, number 1, stay with the group. Number 2, don't talk to or converse with locals. Number 3, do not go into the shops. And number 4, do not wander away from the group.
And they take the rules serious, as you'll see soon. We sailed past the Cinque Terre jewel cities of Portovenere, Rio Maggiore, Manarola, and docked in Vernazza, where the shopping incident happened.
During our first stop in Vernazza, a young solo traveler couldn't help but to wander away from the group and into a local Italian shop to purchase something that had caught her eye.
Unfortunately, the eagle-eyed chaperones, and it wasn't hard to spot her, she was dressed in neon pink, noticed her absence and reported her to the tour guide, who in turn had no choice but to report back to Royal Caribbean.
The poor young lady was all but handcuffed to the chaperones for the rest of the excursion.
Yeah, she really wasn't happy about it. We aren't sure what happened to her. She may have been quarantined in her cabin, maybe for the rest of the cruise. My guess is she might have actually gotten left in La Spezia to quarantine.
We know that we did not see her again, and on a cruise with such low capacity, we actually saw everybody multiple times the rest of the sailing. So here's the lessons of the day. Number 1, don't wear a bright pink silky dress and black high heels on an excursion unless you want to be noticed.
Yeah. Number 2, the cruise lines are very serious about protecting their guests and protecting the locals, so follow local government's wishes.
Yep. The eye-catcher in this port is the dome and yellow gold painted church of Margaret of Antioch and multicolored homes and shops nestled safely in the cliffs. As a group, we're able to walk the narrow streets and admire the beauty from afar.
Our guide takes us up to a vantage point above the church and port. Monterosso al Mare is our next port, and our first stop is lunch at Ristorante Moretto.
handmade pasta and pesto and fresh caught fish, a glass of delicious wine, dessert, and espresso. We had hoped to explore culinary delights on our own.
Yeah, it wasn't in the cards on this trip.
Please let us know in the comments below if those rules have changed.
After lunch, we visit Parroquia Giovanni Battista, a Gothic church with black and white Genoan-style marble. And a few steps away, in our opinion, the most interesting, Oratorio Mortis et Orationes Confraternita de Neri.
The outside is in the genuine black and white Gothic style, and inside you find Baroque architecture and frescoes. The story that we were told is that the church is for the widows of the sea. Skeletons look down on you rather than cherubs. The church is in disrepair and was so unique that we had to donate to the restoration fund.
Through the tunnel to the view of the infamous rock outcropping Scioglio di Monterosso.
This castle is really Torre Aurora, a popular restaurant that dishes up views of the sea while serving cocktails and dinner or hosting events. Rod and I would have loved to sample the menu here, right?
Yeah, for sure. Our last jewel in Cinque Terre is the first village we sailed past in the morning. Portovenere. Pulling into the port, you'll notice the colorfully painted, iconic buildings. The buildings are multi-storied. The villagers live above their place of business.
How simple it must be to just walk down the steps and into your work.
Yeah. Again, as a group, we explored the narrow streets. This village seems a little more cramped. Maybe it's just the end of the day and we were tired of being shepherded, looking for freedom.
Yep, freedom was,
not to be found. Yep.
Not to be found.
The main attraction is a Gothic-style church of St. Peter, or San Pietro, which was built upon an ancient pagan temple of the goddess Venus Erycina. The portion with the white and black stone bands were added by the Genoese in the mid-1200s.
And it faces the Gulf of Poets.
Arcades of the church overlooking the Grotta di Lord Byron, which is simply a favored swimming spot where the famed poet visited. We walk about 8 minutes along the quay to Piazza Spallanzani Square and back to our little excursion boat to join Harmony of the Seas and continue on our Mediterranean cruise.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your patience in between videos. We have a lot of content in the can and little time to edit. Subscribe for the rest of the Mediterranean cruise. Check out our other videos. We have Wonder of the Seas, Navigator of the Seas, Anthem of the Seas in the Canary Islands, Freedom of the Seas with the teens, and we actually have Jade.
Yeah.
and freedom of the seas with the team.